Prices in the Niagara region are still climbing, and we've actually reached a median sale price of $660,000, which, if you can believe this, only 5 months ago was about $100,000 less. So let's break that down. And stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to be talking about some of the areas in Niagara where you can still get a deal despite climbing prices. Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Cameron Jones. I'm a licensed realtor with RE/MAX in the always beautiful Niagara region. And this is the channel where I share everything that I'm passionate about when it comes to the area. Now, if this is your first time here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notifications every time that I release a new video just like this one, so I can share what it's like to live, work, play, and buy and sell real estate in Niagara. Now, as I mentioned, prices have continued to go up over the last few months and are now sitting at $660,000 as the median home price. So why is that happening and where is this shift upward coming from? Typically, homeowners who want to sell are going to wait until the spring to sell their home. It photographs better, no one wants to move in the winter, and there's more buyers who are going to be active in the market. But this year we've seen it a little bit different, and it's not quite as active with the number of people selling their home as usual. In fact, in Niagara, numbers are down about 21% compared to this time last year. Now, when we ask that question, why aren't they selling? There's a lot of different things that really come into it, but it boils down to one main point, and that's that there's no incentive for them to sell right now, or at least the incentive isn't as high as it used to be in previous years. When you look at the fact that sellers are still waiting for prices to get back to where they were a year ago, or at least improve a little bit more from where they were, for investors who own a home, they can really just fall back on a really strong rental market rather than having to sell in order to capitalize on their investment. And when it comes to the interest rates on people's mortgages, there's a lot of homeowners who are still working through their renewal period and haven't gotten to it yet. So therefore, they're not having to pay a higher mortgage per month because they're still locked into a lower interest than is currently available. And also there's nowhere to go. It's a little bit of a cyclical thing because, with no inventory means that when you sell your home, there isn't really all that great of options in a place to buy. So all of those factors really just boil down to homeowners don't have a lot of incentive to sell right now, like I mentioned. Okay, so prices have gone up, but really where are they going? And no one has a crystal ball, but the general consensus is among experts that prices are going to continue to go up because of the low inventory. There's just a lot of pressure on the system. Not a lot of people are selling their homes, but people still want to buy right now. Therefore, higher demand equals higher prices. However, if we look past the short term and look more to medium long term, there really is a consensus that things are going to remain mostly flat this year. I think that if you take the pressure that we're experiencing right now and kind of let things ride out until the end of the year, I think it's going to mostly be a flat market with some additional pressure coming in the fall as part of a normal real estate cycle. So let's break down what that means for buyers and what that means for sellers. If you're looking to buy a home this year, I would recommend getting on that process sooner rather than later. I really do believe that prices are going to continue to go up in the short term, and mortgage rates aren't going to go anywhere for the time being. The Bank of Canada has said that they're going to hold interest rates roughly where they are right now until at least Q4 of this year or early of next year. How that all shakes out in theory is that if interest rates stay the same but prices continue to creep up, you'll be paying more in interest for the same theoretical house that you would have purchased today as you would have in the future, if that makes sense. Let's say that you bought a home for $500,000 today, and that same home is worth $550,000 in a few months. That's more interest that you're going to be paying on that property. And for my sellers, you're starting to look pretty good again. Things are picking up with appreciation, and in my opinion, the longer that you wait with this, the more that you're going to get out of your home. Things are picking up, and the appreciation is definitely building. If you know that you need to sell your home within the year, I would be targeting sometime this spring when the pressure is still on and not a lot of inventory is available, or I would be waiting until the fall when again activity picks back up and there's more pressure. So to wrap this all up, what we're seeing is that prices are still steadily increasing in the Niagara region because there's low inventory and sellers just don't need to sell right now, and they aren't. The forecast for the housing market is really saying that it's going to be a lot of the same going forward into the future with no big swings either upwards in price or downwards in price. Pretty moderate growth, if anything, or pretty flat over the next little while. And so for buyers, if you can get in right away, great. And for sellers, like I just mentioned, try to sell within the next couple months or wait until the fall when activity picks back up again. And as promised, now I'm going to share with you where you can still get a great deal in Niagara, and that is with condos, believe it or not. So, in all housing categories like detached, townhomes, semi detached, you name it, they all have been creeping up slowly when it comes to price. But condos are kind of the ones who are lagging behind, and their prices have stayed mostly flat since November of last year. Now, this isn't always going to be that way. That leg is going to kind of catch up as things start to move forward. But right now, you can still get a really decent deal on condos, especially considering where the rest of the market is right now. Or if you want to look outside of Niagara a little bit, then Hamilton is actually a good place to buy. It stayed mostly flat over the last few months as everything else around it has creeped up, like Niagara, Kitchener-Waterloo, Brantford, Burlington. All of those markets are creeping up slowly still, but Hamilton has stayed the same. So you can still get a pretty good deal there, again, in comparison to where other markets are going. And that's it for my May market update for Niagara in 2023. If you have any questions about what I just covered in this video, or you would like more information on anything, feel free to reach out to me by calling me, giving me a text, shooting me an email. It's all good. I'm here to answer whatever questions that you have. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.